let's have a go at graphing these three functions. Let's start with y is equal to 3 sine x. Start with the x and y axis, just like that. And we'll draw the sine curve, which we know has a cycle of 2 pi. Right. So if that's 2 pi, halfway means here we have pi. Okay, now half of that is pi on 2. I could put the pi on 2 and the 3 pi on 2, but don't have to. And the amplitude has now changed. So this distance from here to here, that is now 3. So I'm going to put the 3 in and the negative 3 in. Label the y-axis, label the x-axis, and there you have the graph y is equal to 3 sine x. Easy. Let's go to y is equal to 2 cosine 3x. Right, so there's two transformations that's happened here. First of all, that b value is equal to 3. Now what that means is that there are now 3 cycles from 0 to 2 pi. Okay, so now it looks like this. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm going to move 2 pi over here a little bit just to make that work. Okay, so that's 3 cycles now. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. However, that should have been cosine curves. I drew sine curves. Okay, so let's redo that. Cosine curves, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. 2 pi. Now, since there are 3 cycles like that, I could say that this peak must be 2 pi, that distance divided into 3 parts. So that must be 2 pi on 3. If that's 2 pi on 3, doubling it will give me this marker, which is 4 pi on 3. Okay? 2 pi on 3, 4 pi on 3, 6 pi on 3. 6 pi on 3 is the same as 2 pi. Now, the other way to have solved that is, I could say this one wavelength, the formula for solving a wavelength is 2 pi divided by b. And my b value is 3. Okay, so 2 pi divided by b is the same as 2 pi divided by 3. That's the other way you could solve it. So I could start with 2 pi and 3 there, then double it, then triple it. Okay, then my amplitude has now changed. This value is now 2, so I'll put the 2 in. There's my negative 2. Label the y-axis, label the x-axis, and that's it. That's done. Right, 1 to go. Here we have a negative. There's a 2, there's a minus 1. Okay, so there's 3 transformations that's happened here. Let's try and break it down. The first one is I have 2x, right? So here's a graph of sine x. When there's a 2 there, that now means that there's 2 cycles. 1, 2. Then we have a negative, which means that the entire graph has now been flipped over the x-axis. What was positive is now negative, and what was negative is now positive. So we're going to draw this upside down, 1, 2, like that. And the third transformation is that the entire graph has now been vertically shifted downward 1 unit. Okay, so what was peaking at 1 and is now peaking at 0. What was the equilibrium at 0 is now at negative 1, and what was the troughs at negative 1 is now at negative 2. Okay, so the entire graph just shifted down 1 unit. So it now looks like this. There's my first cycle, there's my second cycle. All right, so those are the 3 transformations that's taken place. I'm going to redraw this now, make it look all pretty, following this format. Okay, so I need 2 cycles from 0 to 2 pi. Oh, did it wrong. Start again. There we go. Equilibrium is at negative 1. Its 2 cycles finishes at 2 pi. Halfway is here at pi. Its trough is at 0. Its equilibrium negative 1, and its peak was at 0. Its trough is at negative 2. Okay, y-axis, x-axis, and that's it. That is the graph y is equal to negative sine 2x minus 1. Good luck with the questions.